The rotor wash is deafening. The open door beside you is nothing but sky, cold, violent sky, and 3,000 feet of nothing beneath your boots. Your radio crackles. One word: tango. Somewhere in that gray haze below, a $500 piece of plastic is moving fast. Erratic, unpredictable, and it is carrying a shaped charge explosive. If it hits the unarmored barracks where 40 of your people are sleeping, the casualties will be catastrophic. The billion-dollar radar on the ground never saw it coming. The perimeter sensors never triggered. No warning, no time. Right now, the only thing standing between that drone and your forward operating base is you, strapped into the open door of a UH-1Y Venom, 150 caliber machine gun, and whatever God-given instinct you have left. The crew chief yells, you acquire the target. If you are proud of the aviators adapting to these new threats to keep our bases safe, type air power in the comments right now. Most people picture a drone threat and think fighter jet. They think radar lock. They think missile. They are wrong. You are not in a fighter jet. You are hanging out of an open door at 110 miles per hour, feet braced against a cargo rail, wind hammering your chest like a fire hose. The 50 caliber machine gun in front of you weighs 84 pounds. It is bolted to a swivel mount, and right now, it is the only precision instrument that matters. Here's what nobody tells you about fighting a small UAV from a helicopter. It is not about technology. It is about physics. And physics up here is your enemy. That drone is not flying in a straight line. It is darting, cutting left, dropping 10 feet, rising again. Its electric motors make almost no sound above the rotor noise. You cannot hear it coming. You can barely see it. What you are hunting is roughly the size of a carry-on suitcase, painted dark, moving at 40 to 60 miles per hour in 3 dimensions, while you are also moving, vibrating, banking, and fighting the crosswind that wants to rip the gun sideways out of your grip. And you have to lead it. Leading a target means aiming at where it will be when your bullet arrives, not where it is. On a static range, that calculation is simple. Up here, with the helicopter yawing 2 degrees every half second, and the target changing altitude unpredictably, it is not simple. It is instinct built from thousands of hours. Even then, your first burst will miss. Expect it. Plan for it. That is why the round itself has to count when it connects. The 50 caliber does not just punch a hole. At that velocity, over 2,800 feet per second, it delivers kinetic energy measured in thousands of foot-pounds on impact. A small consumer-grade drone, even one reinforced with a payload harness, does not survive a direct hit. The frame shatters, the motor housings fracture. Whatever is attached to that airframe stops being a threat. But you have to hit it first. You are not firing one round at a time up here. You are firing in bursts, controlled, deliberate bursts. And watching the tracers, every 4th or 5th round loaded in that belt is a tracer. A phosphorus-tipped bullet that burns bright orange as it travels. It is not there for show. It is your feedback loop, the only one you have. You fire a burst. The tracers arc left of the drone. You correct right. You fire again. The tracers are high. You drop the barrel slightly, fighting the muscle memory that wants to hold steady against the vibration. And fire again. The tracers thread through the space where it was and where it will be in the same half second. you feel the gun rock. The spent casings cascade out the ejection port, bouncing off the deck, hot and spinning. The smell of burnt propellant hits you, sharp, metallic, familiar, mixing with the jet fuel exhaust bleeding back from the engine nacelles above you. You watch the target. It is still flying. One weapon is not always enough. If the drone is maneuvering aggressively, if it is closing fast, and the .50 caliber is not generating enough volume of fire to guarantee a hit before it reaches the wire, the crew chief behind you makes a call. You transition. The GAU-17 minigun operates on a completely different principle than your .50 caliber. It does not hit hard. It hits constantly. 6 rotating barrels cycling through a single firing position, up to 4,000 rounds per minute. At that rate, you are not threading a needle. You are building a wall of steel in the air in front of the target and letting the target fly into it. The sound is not a bang, it is a mechanical tear, a grinding, continuous roar that you feel in your back teeth. The vibration through the airframe doubles. The helicopter shudders. Your pilot compensates on the cyclic, fighting to hold heading while you are effectively hanging a small industrial machine off the right side of the aircraft. Against a drone closing at 60 miles per hour, a 4,000 round per minute wall of 7.62 millimeter fire is extremely difficult to survive. But some of them are not closing fast. Some of them are holding distance, orbiting, watching, feeding targeting data to something worse. Those ones require a different answer. The range problem inherent to every door gun fight, your effective engagement distance against a fast, small aerial target with the .50 caliber is measured in hundreds of feet, not miles. Beyond that range, your probability of a hit drops towards 0. The bullet is still flying, but the target has too much time and too much sky to maneuver in. The drone knows this, or rather, the operator controlling it knows this. They orbit just outside your effective range, patient, watching, waiting, so you reach further. The APKWS, the Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System, is a 70 millimeter rocket, but not a standard rocket, a laser-guided rocket. A targeting pod or a handheld laser designator paints the drone with an invisible beam. The APKWS receives that reflection and steers itself toward the point of highest laser energy. At a fraction of the cost of a traditional air-to-air missile, you just removed a threat that was sitting comfortably outside your gun's reach. The math matters here. That drone cost the enemy $500. The APKWS round costs roughly $25,000. Some will say that is a poor trade. They have never stood inside the wire of a forward operating base after a drone got through. The math changes when the target is not hardware, when the target is your people. You hear it before you see it, a deep, rhythmic thrum, heavier than your UH-1Y, more purposeful. The AH-64 Apache slots in 500 feet off your left side, and immediately the tactical picture changes. The Apache pilot is wearing a helmet-mounted sight. Whatever his head is pointing at, the 30 millimeter M230 chain gun under the nose is also pointing at. He looks at the drone. The gun follows his eyes. No manual slew, no joystick input, just the pure mechanical violence of a man looking at a target and a weapon that obeys his gaze. The M230 fires at up to 625 rounds per minute. The 30 millimeter round it fires is larger than your fist. A single hit on any small UAV does not disable it. It erases it. But the Apache does not sit still and shoot. It maneuvers constantly. The pilot reads the drone's flight path, angles the aircraft to cut off escape routes, boxes the target between your position and his own. 2 helicopters, 2 weapon systems, 1 drone with nowhere left to go. You watch the chain gun fire a short burst. The drone disappears, not falling, not spinning down, just gone. Replaced by a small black smear of debris catching the wind. Your crew chief keys the radio. Target down. Confirm splash. 40 of your people in those barracks will never know. You land. The deck crew chocks the wheels. The rotors slow above you. Someone hands you water. You drink it. You do not taste it. The after-action debrief will focus on the technical data. Range to target. Time of engagement. Round count expended. Threat classification. All of it will be entered into a system. Analyzed. Briefed up the chain. What will not make the report is the part where you had 3 seconds to calculate the lead on an erratically moving target while your platform was vibrating, banking, and doing 100 knots. And 40 people's lives with a margin for error. What will not make the report is what it feels like to know that a $500 machine almost won. These are not the threats from the movies. No missiles streaking from the horizon. No enemy aircraft in a classic dogfight. Just plastic, a battery, a camera, and a person somewhere with a controller, willing to spend almost nothing to make you spend everything. The men and women flying these missions, the door gunners, the Apache crews, the pilots holding steady while the gun does its work. They are rewriting the rules of aerial combat, one engagement at a time, with what they have, against what is coming, every flight, every night, every threat they stop before it reaches the wire. That is the job. If this gave you a new understanding of what these crews face every single rotation, hit that like button and subscribe to the Air Force Journal. We cover the real tactics, the real threats, and the real people handling both. Do not miss the next one.